Now, this is our fifth lecture, and in this lecture, we will continue our unit 3, that is hydraulic turbine and centrifugal pump. And in this lecture, we will study about Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine. In last lecture, what we have studied radial flow reaction turbine. It is called radial flow because water flow radially, and it is called reaction turbine because at the inlet there will be a combination of energy, that is kinetic energy and pressure energy, and during its flow through the blade, that pressure energy is converted into kinetic energy. Okay, that's why we called it as a reaction turbine. So in this lecture, we first study Francis turbine, which is a special case of radial flow reaction turbine. Then we will study Kaplan turbine, which is axial flow turbine. So to start with Francis turbine. What is Francis? What is Francis turbine? Okay, Francis turbine is a special case of radial flow reaction turbine, which says that it is invert flow reaction turbine. Francis turbine is always a invert flow reaction turbine having radial discharge at outlet. Okay? This is the special case of radial flow reaction turbine, that it should be an invert flow reaction turbine and the discharge at the outlet should be radial. Okay, so this is called Francis turbine after the name of scientist J.B. Francis, which is an American engineer. So there is nothing new what we have learned in radial flow reaction turbine. The work done will be given by rho A V1 VW1 U1 Newton meter per second. Here VW2 U2 term is not there. Why? It is because discharge is radial, and once the discharge is radial at outlet, that VW term beta will become 90 degree and VW term will be 0. So the equation reduces to W is equal to rho A V1 VW1 U1. Okay. Now this A1 A into V1, this A into V1, it is flow rate, that is Q. Okay. Next, when we talk about per unit weight of water striking, work done per unit weight of water striking per second, then the it is reduces to VW1 V1 by G, that we have already seen in case of radial flow reaction turbine, and the unit of this work will be meter. Okay. Next is hydraulic efficiency will be given by VW1 U1 by GH, and one new term, couple of new term will be there in case of Francis turbine, that is flow ratio, which is the ratio of velocity of flow at inlet by root 2gh, and there will be a breadth ratio, which is the ratio of blade width to the blade diameter at inlet. So these two terms are of importance in Francis turbine because in numerical these two terms will be used. We should know what is flow ratio and breadth ratio. Rest of the formula are same. Even the velocity triangle is same as we have already seen in case of radial flow reaction turbine. Okay, inlet triangle will be like this. Inlet triangle will be like this. U1, V1, VR1, VW1. Tangential component of V1 is VW1. Axial component is VF1. Alpha is the inlet jet angle. Theta is the inlet blade angle. And as the discharge is radial at outlet, beta will be 90 degree and VW2 will be 0. So this outlet velocity triangle will be a simple triangle only, which has no component, which has no beta and VW2. Okay. So the velocity triangle is same. Now moving forward to the numerical on the basis of what theory we have just gone through. So this is the first problem of Francis turbine. It is given that net head is 70 meter, speed is 600 rpm, shaft power it is given, overall efficiency and hydraulic efficiency is given. Now the two terms that we have studied, that is flow ratio is given 0.25, which is the ratio of velocity of flow at inlet divided by root 2g h. Width ratio is the ratio of width and diameter at inlet. Now one important relationship is given that outer diameter of runner is equal to twice of inner diameter of runner. Okay, and the thickness of vane occupies 10% of the circumferential area of the runner. Now the area what we have taken, that is pi d1 b1. Till now what the area we have taken to evaluate the flow rate, Q is equal to pi d1 b1 into Vfn we are taking. Now it is saying that the complete area is not taken care for inlet of water. 10% of the total area is occupied by the thickness of the vane. So water will get less area by 10% to come inside the moving blade. Okay, so there will be a reduction in circumferential area by 10%. So what will be the available area? That will be 90% of pi d1 v1. Velocity of flow is constant at inlet and outlet. It means Vf1 is equal to Vf2, and the discharge is radial at outlet. Okay, it is not necessary that every time it is given the question that discharge is radial at outlet, because at the starting it is said that it is Francis turbine. In case of Francis turbine, we know that the radial should be discharge should be radial at outlet. Okay, so now it has to determine the guide blade angle, runner vane angle at inlet and outlet, diameter of runner at inlet and outlet, and width of wheel at inlet. So let's write flow ratio, which is Vf1 by root 2 GH. Okay, net head H is given, flow ratio is given, that is 0.25. So from this equation, we can easily calculate the velocity of flow at inlet. Vf1 is equal to 0.25 under root 2 GH, which gives 9.26 meter per second. That is velocity of flow at inlet. Okay. Next, thickness of vane, it is given 10% of the circumferential area. So I have already discussed that the area available to calculate the value of Q is 90%. That is, so actual area will be 0.9 into pi into d1 into bf1. If this 10% is not given, what area we will take pi d1 b1 only. But now it is given that 10% of the area is restricted by because of the thickness of the blade. So we have to take 0.9 into pi into d1 b1. Okay. So discharge at outlet is radial, it is given. So the bw2 will be equal to 0 and vf2 is equal to v2, that already we have discussed. Now, overall efficiency is given. We know that overall efficiency is the ratio of shaft power by water power. Shaft power is given in the numerical. And overall efficiency is also given, that is 0.85. 367.875 is the shaft power. So from this, we can calculate water power. Water power is coming out to be 432.79 kilowatt. Now, what is this water power? Water power is also rho g QH by 1000. Now see this formula very carefully. Water power we have just calculated. Rho, we know the density of water, G is 9.81, head it is given 70 meter. So from this formula we can calculate the value of flow rate Q. Substituting all the values, we get Q as 0.63 meter cube per second. Okay. Now this, with the help of this Q is 0.9 times pi d1 b1, as the 10% of the area is blocked by the thickness of the blade, so we have to take area as 0.9 times of that into velocity of flow. Velocity of flow we have just calculated with the help of flow ratio. So and there is a ratio given, width ratio, which gives the relationship between d1 and b1. So this b1 can be written 0.1 times d1. So now the equation reduces to one unknown, and with this Q has already been calculated. With this equation, we can calculate d1 as 0.49 meter. So b1 will be 1/10 of d1, so it will be 0.49 meter. Okay. Now the tangential speed of the runner at inlet. Tangential speed means u1. Okay, so u1 is given by pi dn by 60. Pi is known, d1 is 0.49. We have just calculated it, and it is given in the question 660 divided by 60. It will give blade velocity at inlet at 15.39 meter per second. Why we are doing all these things? Because we have to calculate the glide blade angle at, for inlet velocity triangle. Nothing is given. So for calculating the alpha value or for calculating the theta value, we have to know all the velocities there, so that we can apply the geometry and get the value of alpha and theta. Now, with the help of hydraulic efficiency, we have seen that it is a VW1 U1 by GH. Okay, hydraulic efficiency. So we have just calculated U1. We know G and value of H, which is given in the question H. Hydraulic efficiency it is given in the problem, so we can calculate VW1. Now, substituting all the values, 0.95 as hydraulic efficiency it is given, we get VW1 as 42.39 meter per second. Okay, so now lot of things we have calculated from inlet velocity triangle, that is VW1, U1 and VF1. Now we can move to calculate the what it is asked in the problem. So first, glide blade angle. Glide blade angle, it can be seen from the figure that glide blade angle alpha can be calculated by tan alpha is equal to Vf1 by Vw1. We know Vf1, we know Vw1. Substituting tan alpha is equal to VW1, VF1 by VW1, you can easily calculate alpha as 12.32 degree. Now second is runner blade angle. Runner blade angle means if you are asking for theta and phi both things. So tan theta is can be seen from this triangle. Tan theta is perpendicular upon base. Perpendicular is VF1. Okay. Base is total VW1 minus U1. All the things we have calculated VF1, VW1 and U1, substituting all the values we get theta is equal to 18.93 degree. Now to calculate phi, we have to talk for this outlet velocity triangle. Again, tan phi is equal to VF2 by U2. Okay, but we don't know U2. We don't know U2, but U2 is equal to pi D2 n by 60 and D2 is 0.49, n is 600 by 60. We get U2 as 7.69 meter per second. Now substituting the value of U2, we get tan phi is equal to 9.26 by 7.69. Now phi will get 50.29. So second part is also clear. That is theta and phi. Theta can be calculated from inlet velocity triangle and phi from outlet velocity triangle. Diameter of runner at inlet and outlet, it is asked. Diameter, it is 0.49. Okay, and we know the ratio that d2 will be d1 by 2. Okay, now width of runner, it has already been calculated. Next is, so this is the simple problem of Francis turbine which has already been asked in the IGPV exam. Now moving to our next topic, that is axial flow reaction turbine. Axial flow reaction turbine, from the name itself it is clear that axial flow means the flow of water will be parallel to the axis of the turbine, and reaction turbine means the energy available at the inlet of the turbine is a combination of kinetic energy and pressure energy, and while the water flow through the turbine blade, the pressure energy has been converted into kinetic energy and pressure continuously drop. Okay, so it is written here, if water flows parallel to the axis of rotation of shaft, the turbine is known as axial flow turbine, and if the head at the inlet of the turbine is a sum of pressure and kinetic energy, it is called reaction turbine. Now this axial flow reaction turbine are of two types. First is propeller turbine and second is Kaplan turbine. Now see what is the basic difference between these two turbines. Everything is same. In propeller turbine, the blades are non-adjustable. Means we cannot adjust the blade of the turbine. And in case of Kaplan turbine, the blade can be adjustable. It means in propeller turbine, the blades are attached to the rotor by welding, and in Kaplan turbine, it is by some other arrangement. So we can rotate the blade, we can move the blade. The only difference between propeller and Kaplan turbine is blade is adjustable in case of Kaplan turbine and blade is non-adjustable in case of propeller turbine. Okay. Now, what are the main components? This is the figure of Kaplan or propeller turbine. It is a axial flow reaction turbine. See, so this is casing. This is casing. Now see, this is the higher diameter and this is the low diameter. It is because it is always, casing is always converging. When we see it from the top, we get a circular cross section we have seen. We will see. So this is the casing. From this casing, water will come from penstock this casing, and through this casing, the water moves to the guide vanes. This is guide vanes. Okay. With this guide vane, what is the function of this guide vane? This guide vane change the direction of water by 90 degree so that water will get inside the turbine at the inlet of the turbine blade. This is called runner or turbine runner vanes. Okay. This portion is called boss, which has diameter dB, and the blade's diameter is d0. Outer diameter is d0. So we can say that the blade outer diameter is d0 and the blade inner diameter is dB, which is equivalent to the boss diameter. Okay. Now water will come from penstock to this straw casing. Through this straw casing, it will move to the guide vanes. Guide vanes changes the direction of water by 90 degree and it will get inlet to the runner vanes. It will travel through the runner vanes and uh, imparting its energy to the blade, and it will come out from the runner vanes or blade and it will move to the draft tube. Why draft tube is required? As we have seen that here the pressure is high, and while traveling through the blade, pressure continuously decreases. With this decrease in pressure, there will be a pressure which is normally low than the atmospheric pressure. So it is very difficult for water to get discharged in the atmospheric condition. So there will be a draft tube. In the draft tube, what happens? Again, that kinetic energy is converted into pressure energy so that the water can be discharged easily. Okay, so what we have seen, the main component is scroll casing. This is scroll casing with varying diameter. Next is guide vane mechanism, which guide the fluid or water coming through the scroll casing and changes the direction by 90 degrees. So what we have seen in guide vanes, the flow is radial, and in blades the flow is axial. So sometimes it is also called mixed flow turbine, means partially the fluid flowing in radial direction and partially it is flowing in the axial direction. Okay, next is hub with vanes. This portion is called boss or hub, both we can say it, with vanes. And last one is draft tube. So these are the main component of axial flow reaction turbine. Now, if this blade is adjustable, we called it as a Kaplan turbine, and if it is fixed, we called it as a propeller turbine. Next, some important term related to Kaplan turbine and its velocity triangle. Here again, what is the difference between what is the difference between Pelton wheel, Francis turbine, and Kaplan turbine? In Pelton wheel, the area is pi by 4d square. In radial flow reaction turbine or Francis turbine, the area is pi d1 b1. And now the area is, in case of Kaplan turbine, it is pi by 4 d square by db square. It can be seen from the this figure again. See, water is coming from guide vanes like this. This is the downward. So what is the area available for water to flow? This total area minus the area captured by this ball. The total area is pi by 4 d0 square, and the area captured by balls is pi by 4 db square. So the difference between the two areas is the area available for water to flow. So it is shown here that area available for water, that is pi by 4 d0 square minus db square into velocity of flow. This will be q. Now u1 and u2 will be same because its distance from the center, the flow distance from the center will remain constant, and we have to take that is d0. So u1 equal to u2 equal to pi d0 n by 60, and vf1 is equal to vf2 always in case of Kaplan turbine. Again, there is no change in the velocity diagram. It is very much similar to the velocity diagram of Francis turbine. Here also the discharge will be radial at outlet always. So the work done will be rho AV1 VW1 U. Work done per unit weight of water striking the bucket will be VW1 U1 by G. The unit will be meter, and hydraulic efficiency will be VW1 U1 by GF. So the main difference between the Francis and Kaplan turbine is that is radial flow turbine, this is axial flow turbine. And in case of formula, velocity triangle is same for both the turbine. And in case of formula, the change is on the area. That is, in case of radial flow reaction turbine, it's pi d1 b1. Here it is pi by 4 d square d0 square minus db square. Velocity of flow in case of Francis or radial turbine is that u1 is not equal to u2, depend upon the diameter at inlet and outlet, but here the diameter will remain constant, so u1 equal to u2, and vf1 is equal to vf2 always in case of Kaplan turbine, but it is not true for Francis turbine. It may be equal and it may not be equal in case of radial flow reaction turbine, but in case of Kaplan turbine, it is always the case that vf1 is equal to vf2. With this theory, we will move to the numerical, one numerical of this. That is, it is given that a Kaplan turbine works under a head of 15 meters. So head is given, develops 7357.5 kilowatt of shaft power. Shaft power is given. The outer diameter of the runner is 4 meters, that is d0 is given. The hub diameter is 2 meters, that is db is given. The guide blade angle at the extreme edge of the runner is 30 degrees is given. The hydraulic and overall efficiency is 90% and 85%. If the velocity of whirl at outlet is 0, means again VW2 is 0, VW2 is 0 means beta is equal to 90 degrees. Determine the runner vane angle. Runner vane angle means theta and phi it is asked, and speed of turbine. So let's write first given condition. Net head is given, shaft power is given, outer diameter, hub diameter, guide blade angle, that is alpha is given, hydraulic efficiency and overall efficiency, and the velocity triangle will remain same. Okay, so now moving to our solution. First, overall efficiency is given. It is a ratio of shaft power by water power. Shaft power it is given, overall efficiency given. So from this again, I'm writing water power formula directly. That is rho G, rho 1000 G 9.81 Q into H by 1000. So from here we can calculate Q is equal to 58.82 meter cube per second. Okay, once we get Q by applying the flow rate formula, that is Q is equal to pi by 4 d0 square minus dB square into Vf1. d0 it is given, dB it is given, 4 and 2. Q we have just calculated, so we can easily calculate the value of Vf1, and Vf1 come out to be 6.24 meter per second. Okay. From now, see the inlet velocity triangle. What information we have about inlet velocity triangle? We have Vf1, we have alpha. Okay. So with these two values, we can calculate Vw1. So let's calculate Vw1 first. Tan alpha is equal to Vf1 by Vw1. So Vw1 is coming out to be 10.81 meter per second. Now using the formula of hydraulic efficiency in case of Kaplan turbine is Vw1 U1 by GH. Okay, Vw1 U1 by GH. So we know hydraulic efficiency, it is given in the question. Vw1 we have just calculated 10.81. H is given, G we know. So from this we can calculate U1. This U1 is coming out to be 12.25 meter per second. Now we know that what is U1? U1 is equal to okay, let's move it to Rayner-Vain angle first. That tan theta is equal to Vf1 by U1, which gives theta as 103 degree, and tan phi is equal to Vf2 by U2. We know that Vf1 is equal to Vf2 in case of Kaplan turbine, and U1 is equal to U2 in case of Kaplan turbine. So it is tan phi is equal to 27 degrees. Now for calculating the speed of turbine, we know that U1 is equal to pi d0 n by 60. U1 is calculated, d0 is given. So with this formula, we can easily calculate the value of n, which is coming out to be 58.5 rpm. Okay, so this is the case of Kaplan turbine. This simple problem, it is already asked in university exam. Now see here, theta is 103 degree. So the velocity triangle that we have considered, it will not be the case like this. This VR1 will be like this side. It can be shown like this. I'm trying to plot it. Okay. So okay. So what is the case? This will be like this. This will be like this. So this will be our theta. So theta will be coming out to be 103 degrees. So this angle will be 77 degree. This angle will be 77 degree. Okay, this angle will be 77 degree, and this angle will be 103 degree. So the triangle will be changes. Inlet triangle will be changes from. It will not remain, the VR1 will not remain like this. This will be the VR1. Okay. This will be the VR1. This portion is the VR1. I hope it is clear that how the velocity triangle changes depending upon the value of theta. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Thank you. Thank you very much. And in next class, we will discuss about draft tube. Okay, we have seen that draft tube is a mandatory component in case of reaction turbine. So what is the main function of draft tube? What is the derivation associated with draft tube? And we will also try to solve few problems related to draft tube. Thank you. Thank you very much.